Now, any other questions, or confusions, or rips, or anything you want to raise, or questions of everyone else?
Do you like interview members of like new religions and?
You know, you'd be surprised. The only exposés I've ever done have happened to me when they've come to me. Like with Eckankar, because they turned around and they would sue me, and they also sued my classmate. With MSIA, the defectors came to me, and then I had a smear campaign. With Satya Sai Baba, I simply had some people tell me that Satya Sai Baba, apparently, I won't get into it, likes young boys, and so we had the debate on my internet site. Duff Free John, Franklin Jones, is another famous guy. I don't know if you ever heard of Bubba Free John. He was otherwise known as Franklin Jones. He comes out of Jamaica, New York. He founded his own group. He's a very smart guy. Talk about smart, unbelievably intelligent. Started his own group. He now lives on an island in Fiji, Raymond Burr's old island. Remember Ironside? And he has 9 wives, claiming them to be the divine consorts. But I haven't really gone out and interviewed these people. Who I interviewed are the gurus. That's what I do. I usually go to the leaders themselves and find out the scoop out. Because the followers themselves, as you just pointed out, are really oftentimes terrible sources of information. They're good in understanding how a religion is approached. But think about a Catholic. Go to a Catholic and ask the Catholic, do you believe that the Virgin Mary's hymen didn't break? Because it's Roman Catholic dogma if you did not. And most people hopefully don't know what a hymen is anyway. But the thing is, the point being is that you ask somebody about Roman Catholicism, do they know about transubstantiation? Do they know what the Immaculate Conception has got nothing to do whatsoever with Jesus being born? You know, it's got something to do with Mary being born without sin. Those are the kinds of things people don't know.
Years after.
Yeah, I know, never would. Okay. Give me 5 more, give me 2 more minutes. Come on, because I'm all excited.
Can you, what's Deepak Chopara's name? I first call Chopra.
Six-pack.
I can never pronounce his name. I always see Monkey. What is his deal?
He was a follower of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Transcendental meditation. That's right. The Beatles guy, right. And he was also a legitimate medical doctor, very respected. His father was also a very famous medical doctor. He just came out with a book, by the way. Go to Barnes & Noble, Deepak Chopra. His dad's got a book out. And Deepak Chopra was interested in TM. He was also interested in combining Indian medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, with allopathic medicine, kind of combining the two. And he also has a spiritual insight, wants to combine these things. So in the late 80s, he began to write books because he offshooted out of TM. That's the key thing. What is offshoot? So you understand its context. So same thing with the guy from Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. He's a follower of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. That's right. So he also started this little kind of niche into it. And that's been a high influence in terms of his teachings. So Deepak is trying to combine Western and Eastern medicine. So he's not a cult leader. You've seen him on Politically Incorrect, and he's not a cult leader in that sense. He's not the founder of a new religion. Yet in a weird way, it does answer your question. He appeals to people who want to be religious without the organization. So you know what I mean? There's going to be that. That's also going to be a very interesting thing in religions. Appeal to me without the organization.
Also, they want to belong without belonging.
That's right. That's right. I want to be a member, or as Woody Allen says, I don't want to be a member of any church that accepts me as a member. But the thing is, but I want to be a member because I want to feel associations. Yeah. And Tocqueville talked about that as Democracy in America, where he talks about America is a land of associations. Well, look at my website. I got like 15 different clubs. You want to join, kind of, but it's virtual joining. It's not real joining. Huh? Yeah, Ramdas, Richard Appel. Yeah, Richard Appel. He had a stroke, so he just came out. Richard Appel, very interesting gentleman, who experimented with LSD-25 along with Timothy Leary back at Harvard. And of course, he got influenced by Neem Karoli Baba, who's a very famous guru in India. And he became famous because he wrote the Be Here Now, The Only Dance There Is, Whiskey, other books. But he's also a good point, because he appeals to people who don't want religion. He's a very insightful thinker, kind of eclectic, brings it in. Also Ken Wilber, we've been talking a lot about Ken Wilber. He appeals to massive amounts of people because he's a very smart guy. Tries to integrate Western and Eastern religions in a way that can still be a Catholic or a Zen Buddhist and not have to join. So I think you're right. Self-realization fellowship is appealed to. Many people do that. One last question. Give me juicy.
Who was the guy who came up with the tripartite brain thing?
Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead. With actually, the way he simplified it is Edward O. Wilson. He has won the Pulitzer Prize for a book on human nature. He's also the founder, by the way, of a thing called sociobiology, which was poo-pooed in the 70s, but now has resurrected itself as evolutionary psychology, and everybody loves it. But he wrote this book called Concilium, and I'll spell it for you, because if I was to recommend the hottest book I've read in 5 years, this would be the book. Not that it doesn't get me some trouble, but it's a cool book.
Did you get the Star Trek analogy from Robert A. Wilson?
Did I, or did he? I'm sure I ripped off Wilson. You know, or what do you mean, Spock? I watch that stuff all the time. You mean Star Trek? No, I'm a Trekkie guy.
The analogy with the brain.
No, I got that just from watching Star Trek. You remember Spock? He's always rational, but you look at Captain Kirk, he's always emotional, he's always overacting. Spock, be me now. You know, he's always
There's a perfect balance.
That's right. That's what made the show. Zoo. No, I'm sorry. Anything else? Yes.
Well, you say the leader of MSIA isn't like very charismatic, right?
No.
Doesn't he have charismatic people working for him? Because don't they need those people to? Like,
No. You know why? I'm going to argue this, and this is contentious. I'm going to argue that we supply the charisma. We supply the neurological juice. It's in us. And you know this by when you see a beautiful woman or a beautiful guy that walks by. Watch carefully how this analogy works. Let's imagine a beautiful woman walks by. I look at her and go, wow, she's gorgeous. And all of a sudden, it turns out not to be a potential mate, but it turns out to be my sister. I hope my feelings will change. Okay? Oh, it turns out to be my daughter. I didn't recognize it. I didn't know. Oh, it turns out to be my mother. It's the same person, right? But what's changed? My relationship to her. Therefore, you'll know that you go to different gurus. Some people go, oh, he's so amazing, but the next guy's snoring because he doesn't have a relationship to it. So you know your relationship to your sons and daughters and brothers and sisters. It changes everything. Therefore, we're the ones supplying the charisma, and they're the ones getting the benefit off the fuel because you've misidentified it and you've given it to them, not understanding that it's your own projection. That I'll say nothing else.
Who was the author of Concilium?
Oh, Edward O. Wilson.